At the Institute for Molecular Bioscience, we dare to imagine a world in which we could grow the next generation of medicines in plants. Well, our work is all about discovering peptides and proteins from nature and using it in drug design applications and in agricultural applications. We've been really working in this area for almost about 30 years now when we first came across reports of interesting plants in Africa, and then we've gradually progressed to look at animal venoms and a whole range of other plants. The stage it's reached now is where we've discovered molecules that are super potent as painkillers, for example, or as anti-cancer agents, and now we're at the stage of testing them and hopefully getting to clinical trials in the next couple of years. So I've travelled all around the world to China and Vietnam and the border between Thailand and Cambodia, literally having to carry a machete and chop my way through the jungle so that we could find the locations of some of these quite exotic plants. It's been a lot of fun to get out in the field, bring the plants back to the lab and then isolate the active molecules and then study their structures and use them for drug design applications. It's a general approach of looking at nature and then trying to redeploy nature for applications to human benefit. We're now starting to think to ourselves, well, we've got all these interesting peptides and proteins from plants, we're redesigning them as medicines, why don't we put them back into plants to use plants as biofactories for making these molecules? We then redesign them to have an anti-cancer activity or an anti-pain activity, for example. Thinking about creating whole new industries of biofarming where we could grow medicines in tobacco plants, for example. But tobacco is actually a really good plant to grow, and if we can grow these designer medicines in tobacco, we could be redeeming tobacco. And so my dream is to turn tobacco from something that's in general been regarded as harmful now to something that could be making life-saving medicines. We're talking about discovering medicines in plants and then growing medicines in plants. So we think we can have a really big impact, not only in the developed world, but also in developing countries. But one of the things I'd like to do eventually is have people be able to take a drug as a seed. So we could put a pain-killing medicine into a peanut so that rather than people having to inject themselves with painkillers or take tablets every day, they can have it as part of their diet as in a sunflower seed or in a peanut. So we're looking at edible medicines essentially. Really we think we could have a huge impact in changing the face of agriculture and medicine.